Hey guys, it's Gary, vlogging every single day in the month of November 2023. Welcome or welcome back. Either way, thank you so much for being here today. Wanted to fire up the camera and give you just a couple of photography tips from a guy like me who is, I'm no famous photographer. I don't work for anybody. I'm just a guy who happens to like to shoot concerts, and I want to pass on some of the limited knowledge I have to you, to somebody who's probably at like an equal level, as opposed to a lot of the experts who I do think have valuable information, but sometimes it's like hard to like break through what they're actually talking about, or they just talk about from such an unrelatable level that you can't even keep up with it. So let's get into this just very quickly. Here's the thing with concert photography, okay? It's very hard to get into. And what I mean is like the shows. If you're somebody like me and you want to shoot like the big shows, your chance of getting into those shows are not easy at all. You generally have to work for some sort of media organization, or you're not getting in. Or you need to know somebody in the band or get a hold of somebody in the band who can give you some permission, or you are not getting in. That's it. That's what I've learned, because believe me, I've gone to many shows with like a point and shoot that I could bring into the venue. I've took some amazing photos. I've tagged artists. They've even liked the photos and complimented me on it. But at the end of the day, sometimes good photos just simply are not enough, because there are so many things that are set up in place to keep, kind of like the real shady people out. Because, back 30, 40 years ago, you could bring in pro photography gear. But what happened, a lot of people were bringing it in, they were taking photos of people and then selling the photos, and just a number of other things. So they had to kind of get rid of that. People using like flash photography, artists don't like it, and things like that. It's very distracting. So now there's like all this stuff that's in place that keeps, people like you and me generally on the outside. They don't want, they just don't want us in there. Not that they don't want us personally in there, but they've set up all these rules to now where it's just like 10 times harder to get in to shoot these shows. So here's the fact of the matter. Here's what you should start doing. If you have a passion for this, go shoot a bunch of local shows. A lot of local venues, there's no camera restrictions. Bands will be more than thrilled that you're there, and you're offering them a incredible value to take photos of them. Go talk to them, get their Instagram, get their Facebook, and put it up there. It's giving you content for your page, but it's also giving them content. And tell them, yeah, I'll send you the photos in a Google Drive. The only thing I ask for is the credit, that they will tag you. And even if you maybe have a bigger social following than they do, it doesn't matter. Get them to tag you, get them to give you credit, and then you're good to go. It's a nice trade from there. I know that a lot of the bigger photographers will tell you, no, never give away your photos for free. That's so bad. Look, when you're somebody that's like my level and you're just starting out, or your level, you're just starting out, you want your stuff out there, okay? You don't want to keep it from the people to try to make some kind of, crazy profit that most of these bands are not going to be able to give to you, okay? And I'm not saying give away everything for free every day for the rest of your life, but I'm saying for like when you're getting started, you need to give some shit away and get your stuff out there. Give people a taste of what you offer and what you bring to the table, okay? Now let's talk about getting into some of these bigger shows, because this is something that is not easy to do, okay? Here's the thing. You're going to reach out, in your mind, you're going to try to reach out to like the label or the publicist, and I would definitely not advocate for reaching out to publicists. I mean, their job is to filter literally everything, and you almost never hear back from these people. Even if you have like some of the best photos in the world, unless you're some world-renowned photographer with like 1 million followers, they're not going to get back to you. They don't care. Their job is to keep you away. Not literally to keep like you personally away, but like to filter out all this stuff for what they perceive is the bigger stuff to bring in. They want, it's just like radio stations. It's like, yeah, they play a band stuff, but most people don't listen to the radio. But because radio's been around for like, however many 100 years or whatever, that's why it still holds so much weight, even though nobody listens to it. So like a publicist is like, oh yeah, radio, yeah, whatever you want. but nobody actually listens to it. So my offer, or what I would say, is to message the bands in the DMs. That's one way. Although just remember that your message is probably going to go into their filtered request box. Something you may not know on Instagram, if you have a professional account, which is a creator account, business account, there is a filtered inbox, so your messages will typically go into another inbox, and there is a chance that the band will never see that. They might, if they are really into being on Instagram or something like that, they may see it, they may get back to you, but generally account for they probably will not. So my other recommendation is to comment on a post of theirs, and that way they'll see the question. They don't always reply, but at least they can click your username, and if you have a bunch of your work on your page right there, then you're good to go. A lot of experts will tell you have a website, have a portfolio. I do think it's good advice. I don't have one yet. I'm still kind of figuring out what does my website look like so that I can build it out and kind of get it ready. It is something that is definitely on my list in 2024 to do, but for right now, I don't have one. But I also kind of think it's kind of dumb in the sense, too. It's like, if I'm messaging somebody directly on Instagram, why would they want to take 5 extra steps to click on a website and go digging through my work when they could just literally go on my main feed and see all my stuff right there? It looks good. It's tagged nice. It'll kind of give them an inkling of like my style. And it's just these are the kind of things that, like, when you're dealing with some of these bigger shows, bigger artists, it's mainly just label people and publicists that, like, they want these things just to check off a box, to give one more reason of why they're not going to let you in, because, like, your website doesn't look good, even if you have the best photos in the world. That's all I'm saying. So I wouldn't necessarily put everything into that. I would still say have it, but don't, like, put all your eggs necessarily in that basket. And when you finally get into a show, whether it's a small show or a big show, another tip that I have just simply is dialing in your settings for the first band. Typically, the first band is probably not who you're there to see, but as you get ready for the band that you want to take photos of, get your settings dialed in. That the lighting's in there and everything's good to go at that point. So get all that dialed in, and you'll be ready to go by the time that the band you want to see is on. And then from there, take as many photos as you need to take. They have that saying in the industry, spraying and praying. And while, I wouldn't necessarily advocate for that all the time, I would say if you're somebody that is just getting started out, just trying to figure things out, I would definitely, do that to a certain degree so that you have more photos than not enough. If you think you have like this one good shot and the guy moves like, just a centimeter and it's out of focus or the composition is not great, you're gonna wish that you had mashed that button down for a few more frames so that you could get the shot you actually wanted instead of like the shot you didn't, or if it's just out of focus for a second or what have you. And there's a lot of things to learn when it comes to concert photography. I'm still learning, but really my whole perception of this is to kind of give you, if you're stumbling upon this, a fellow smaller photographer, giving some kind of tips like that, as opposed to like some big time photographer who doesn't want to be bothered by you, or gatekeeping information or what have you. As I learn stuff, I want to share it, and that's kind of the purpose of these videos. And so I guess on this particular video, I'm actually going to wrap this one up here, but I will do more. But those are kind of just some quick kind of tips in terms of like getting into a show and what to do once you get into the show. And don't get in the way of other photographers, like especially if it's a bigger show. I try to be courteous of that. And if it looks like a photographer is trying to come over to get in the spot you're at, once you got the stuff you need, just move on to a different part of the stage. And you kind of even give them like a little signal, like, hey, I'm leaving the spot now, it's all yours. And just be cool to everybody. Just remember that everybody's here essentially for the same thing. You want to get the best photos possible. So just don't be a dick. Don't be a bitch. Don't be rude. And, you know, we all got to look out for each other, right? So that's pretty much the deal for this video. I'll have more. I just wanted to kind of get out some quick, just some rapid fire stuff. And I appreciate you guys being here. So if you're still here by this point, hit the like button. It really makes a actual difference in the YouTube algorithm. Hit subscribe if you want to see a little bit more if you're not here, and hit the bell, hit all, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.